What's up, you guys? This is JMGoTo back with another video. And if you saw the title of this video today, then you know we're going to be discussing the Dallas Mavericks. And, obviously this has been a topic that has been talked about by some, probably many basketball YouTubers, of course. I mean, I might as well just throw in my tiny perspective into the spectrum, basically, if you want to say that. But the Dallas Mavericks, ever since, obviously trading for Kyrie Irving, they have been, they just have not simply exceeded expectations. Obviously, it was a surprise to begin with that Kyrie Irving would even consider getting traded away when he was in a situation, basically, with Kevin Durant, when the time that things just seemed like they were actually clicking. They were winning. They were competing. Yeah, Kevin Durant was hurt, I believe, but they were really getting things ready and looking like a team that was going to make it possible to the NBA Finals at one point. That's how good they were. What did they want, like a 10-11 game winning streak at one point during the early parts of the NBA season? And then, boom, of course, he hits us yet again, and he gets traded to the Mavericks, and he joins up with arguably one of the best players in the league today, Luka Doncic. And let's be real, this year for Luka, it's been relatively tough as well, but throughout Luka's really entire career, he hasn't really played with superb talent. I think looking back at it now, having Jalen Brunson on the team and seeing what he's doing now in New York, it was a big regret. And he got drafted with Luka, so they both were adjusted and used to playing with each other and their games. And now seeing how he's grown as a player, because I didn't expect Jalen Brunson myself either to really become the player that how he is now for the Knicks, but he's barely the best player on the team, and he's hoping the Knicks make it into the playoffs. And that is something that's definitely a big blow for them. Of course, also losing Dorian Finney-Smith, who was really one of their best defenders on the team, was another big blow for them in trading him, of course, to get Kyrie Irving. They basically lost Spencer Dinwiddie, Jalen Brunson, and Dorian Finney-Smith for Kyrie Irving. And don't get me wrong now, we all know that Kyrie Irving is a very talented player. Very super talented player, offensive player, but that's really all he brings. He doesn't bring anything defensively, and that's really been the main issue for this Dallas Mavericks team this year. Last year, a few years ago, I believe the Mavericks had one of the best defensive ratings in the entire league. They had a great defensive core on that team not so long ago. And looking at what they have now, it's really bad. And I think another guy who plays a key role in that, of course, is Christian Wood. He makes the defense worse when he's playing for the Mavericks, which is why I believe that he should be traded away from the Mavericks as well, because he is a defensive liability for that team. And let's be real, the front court for the Mavericks have always been below average. I mean, the only guy who was really significant in that way was Kristaps Porzingis, but then again, he as well was really just an offensive talented player, just like Christian Wood was. But another thing, if Kristaps Porzingis was on this team right now, then I believe that the fit will be really well. I mean, that was another player now looking at the way this team is fixed. I mean, he would have been a really good fit. I mean, he was a borderline all-star level player. And yeah. Also, I don't want to be one of those people as well that just simply say that everything is to blame for trading for Kyrie Irving, because the reality is that Kyrie Irving is playing. When you look at his numbers, they're very efficient across the charts. I mean, yeah, when you look at the Mavericks play as well, it's kind of like how Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were in the beginning when they're in the Boston Celtics, where it was just my turn, your turn type of scenario. And both these guys, I mean, we all know they're tremendous offensive players, him and Luka Doncic, and they are both efficient offensive players. But when you're looking at it as well for Luka this year, I mean, there's obviously something more wrong with him than just basketball. He's been getting so many technical fouls this year on top of that, and then stings for him is bigger than just basketball. So I think there's also personal issues going on with himself, despite, that he's still having a tremendous basketball season this year. I mean, looking on the bright side as well, they have guys like Josh Green, who's been a pretty upside for them this year as well, despite some of their recent struggles. He's had some really good games for them and could be a really good option for them in their future. But the reality is for the Mavericks, even if they don't re-sign Kyrie Irving and he leaves free agency, of course they'll have an opening to re-sign one max player possibly over free agency. And the thing is, this free agency class isn't really that strong, so it's not like they can target many guys out there. But even if they do re-sign Kyrie Irving, they won't really have enough money to really go out and really get great high-quality depth role players on their team that they truly need. Trading away Christian Wood is definitely one of your biggest options. And why don't they play guys like JaVale McGee more? Let's not forget what he helped with the Lakers and them winning the championship that year when the Lakers played big. I mean, he was one of their key pieces on that team. You know, the Mavericks, they have, you know, some pretty solid, they don't have the greatest depth, but they have some good role players on their team. Of course, they're missing the ones that were, you know, really great for them. But I believe that, you know, if they do re-sign Kyrie Irving, they're not really going to be able to, like I said before, realistically speaking, they're not going to be able to sign high caliber role players. They have to get minimum pay players basically on their team, but these guys are going to have to be some really solid defenders and players on top of that if that even does happen. You know, if they do re-sign Kyrie Irving, that's what they're going to really have to surround themselves with. And obviously, you know, good front court play. I'm not going to really sit here and fully say that Kyrie Irving is to blame for everything, because let's be real, when he was on the Nets, when they bought into what was going on at the time, they played extremely well. Kyrie has had some many great regular season runs in his NBA career, just in general. And I can't really just say that he is the reason that the Mavericks are just bad. Yeah, they traded away some of their key role pieces for him that just made their defense in some other areas bad, but it's really simply as well because they just don't have all the right pieces surrounding the team to begin with. For Luka, this is just a really sad situation to be in. I mean, the good part is he's still young. He's still got a very long NBA career ahead of him, but he's already spent these past few seasons of his NBA career pretty much in mediocrity. The Mavericks have failed to really build something for him to compete for an NBA championship. The Mavericks are definitely in a tricky situation right now. I mean, you have very limited options of what you can do, how you can refill this roster, how you can make this team better. Some big trades are going to have to definitely happen, and you don't want to risk losing a generational talent, you know, for nothing. So I don't know what's going to happen with Luka and the Mavericks, but we will see as the future progresses and what happens. You know, this team now, they may not make it to the playoffs. It's looking like that right now, and things are just not looking well for them, but we shall see what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this brief video today. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more basketball content each and every single week. Have a great day. Peace.